I probably shouldn't say this in front of the teacher. I'll tell you an essay.
So, what was it, McKinley? You should really tell us right now before you forget it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Anna's just been roasting Jack all day.
I have not.
Part of the day, sorry.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Well, yesterday she roasted you an essay.
When?
That was a roast.
What did she say?
No, he totally got burned to a crisp right in his legs.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Wait,
I got 2 of these. We'll do 1, and then we're done with 1. Then we will do 1 at least. This one at least for 2 days or a day and a half, and then we'll move on to another one.
Okay.
They produced 2 practice tests. We'll do those. Okay.
Wait,
Quick,
I have a question.
a couple points. First and foremost, it is a multiple choice test with few exceptions. There are a few questions that are not multiple choice. Turn to this page, like the 3rd one is. Turn to this one.
There's numbers in the bottom.
There are, but 34, page 34.
All right, guys.
All right. I don't know how many are multiple choice, but most of them are multiple choice. But there are a couple.
I can't read Greek.
I know. There are a couple, something happened to the printer when it was printing off there. There are a couple of them where they actually want you to write in an answer. Now, for the most part, there's 4 boxes there. So if the answer is 4,444, then it's not that big of a deal. But you could also get a decimal, you could get a fraction. This is how they want you to type it in. Notice, there are 4 boxes. If you have a 3-digit number, they don't care how you write it in. Notice the very bottom there. You could write, 201 or space 201, or, if there was 2 digits, you could put it anywhere in there. I would recommend probably put it all the way right or all the way left. Don't put it dead smack middle. But you get no points for what you write in. You only get points for what you bubble. So you got to make sure you bubble. So if you have 201 and that's the answer, doesn't really matter how you write it, but you better bubble in 201. Fractions are, well, you can notice there's every digit except for the first one has a fraction mark. So if it's 7 over 9, then you can put 7/9 or space 7/9, or
You can't do the last one.
Sir?
you can't, because you can't have a fraction bar in the last one.
Sir, I have an issue.
All right, let me finish.
No, it's about the thing.
I know. Hold on.
You don't
And then
know.
I know what everything is. I've already handed out to one class. We've already gone over all the problems. All right.
So,
Let me just talk. And then the last thing is your decimals. So notice they don't put leading zeros. There isn't even a 0 in the first column. It's just 1 through 9 in the first column. There are zeros in the other ones. I'm just going to say you don't need to put a leading 0. Notice they also vary. I don't know. They kind of leave it up to you. They say truncate or round. Notice 2/3. They're accepting 0.666. 0.666 is not rounded, right? In fact, I would even argue it's not even the closest possible answer. But they're allowing it. So don't overthink it too much. If there is a question about filling in the answer, it's not a question about, hey, how do I do this type of thing? I believe that you'll be it won't be me. It's either Mr. Surratt or it's supposed to be Miss McCullis, but I think it's going to be Miss West is the other one that's going to proctor the test. They'll be able to at least give you some input. Notice, what they say there for mixed number there for 3.5, right? So 31 over 2 is not 3.5, it's 31 over 2. So make sure that you change your mixed numbers to improper fractions. Clearly, since there's only 4 boxes, they can't have it too big of a mixed number. I bet there's not that many. You can change your mixed number to a decimal too if you wanted to type that in. All right, what?
Why is there a decimal in the last column when they
I was wondering
basically
about that.
can't have anything past that because you can't have
Good question.
255 dot and then just
Good question.
Because
Don't know why.
wants to watch the world burn.
I like
All right.
this test.
There are 2 portions of the test. There's the non-calculator. It's got a little non-calculator symbol and a calculator. It doesn't mean that all the questions on the calculator, you need a calculator. It just means that they write the questions knowing you have a calculator. So maybe you use a calculator, maybe you don't.
I have a question.
What?
So regarding calculators, are you clearing the RAM or everything?
I'm clearing everything. I'm doing the shift plus 712.
Shift plus 712.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, you're gonna delete everything if you do this.
What is
Oh.
it?
Second plus 7 1 2.
All right, well, I have
And now you've just cleared everything.
No, dude,
Ah, You're just clearing RAM.
Right.
I can do that all day. I just cleared my RAM. Look at that, and I still have all of my programs.
Oh, so he's gonna play.
Um, Secondly,
Do not clear that program.
Secondly, hold on. Secondly, it's a multiple choice test. Okay, way back when I took the SAT, you were penalized for getting a wrong answer. So for every answer you got right, you got +1. Maybe it was +4 or something like that. For every answer you got wrong, it was -1. So guessing counted against you if you guessed wrong. Nowadays, the SAT guessing is perfectly legal. You lose no points for guessing. But here's the problem. They claim that some of these questions, and we'll discuss which ones are which, are easy, medium, and hard. 3 categories: easy, medium, and hard. You get the same points for easy as you get for medium as you get for hard. But they take the easy, medium, hard, and they mix them all together. So it's not like the first 4 are easy like a normal test. First 4 are easy, then it goes medium and hard. They're all intermixed. So you're not going to know which ones are the easiest ones. Even flipping through it, they're almost all word problems. Lots of them have lots of words, and a lot of times they have a lot big numbers too. Do not assume just because it looks complicated that it actually is complicated. We'll see that when we do this. Some of these are ridiculously easy. I would expect most of you in this class right here should get every one of these right. There's not a single one here as I did them. There's one that I misinterpreted. I'll show you which one that was. But this is not really that hard of a test. What's hard about it is that the questions themselves, you've got to read them. There is some, techniques. I'll try to show you some of them of how to maybe make the test a little bit easier. What you see on the front here is exactly what it'll be for the SAT as well, too. This is what they'll give you. They'll give you these statements. All the variables are a real number. So no complex or imaginary numbers unless otherwise indicated. This year for 8-9, you're not going to see any imaginary numbers, complex numbers. When you get the SAT, there could be, but we're not there yet for that test. It says everything's drawn to scale unless otherwise noted. So you can maybe kind of make some guesses just based on a picture because it says they're drawn to scale unless otherwise noticed. They only draw plain figures unless noted, which is ironic because in their reference guide, they show you 3-dimensional shapes and they don't say they're plain figures, right? Clearly those prisms, cylinders, spheres, cones, and pyramids are not plain figures. And then lastly, it says the domain. I mean, the numbers you can plug into any of the functions are all real numbers unless they indicate. So like, for instance, if they had the square root of x, the only thing you can throw in the square root of x are positive numbers. What?
I have 2 questions.
I'm waiting.
Number 1, are we only doing 3 today, or are we doing both 3 and 4 today?
What?
See how the top says label number 3? Well, the calculator section is labeled number 4.
We're going to do a little bit of everything, and we will finish this by tomorrow, and then we'll get started on the second one.
All right.
And then I will send you home on the weekend with both this one and the second one for you to mess around with. I'll also give you the language arts portion because I don't know, because Ms. McCullough isn't here. So I'm going to give you the language arts portion so you can at least look at it as well, too.
One more question, sir.
What?
My calculator's dead. You got AAA batteries?
There's nothing we need today with a calculator.
Okay.
Tomorrow, yes. That reminds me, I was told I had to collect all your calculators because I didn't trust you to bring them in on test day. And I made a big stink about, no, my students are all smart. No one's going to screw this up. Do not let me down. Don't screw this up.
But I'm not gonna be here on Tuesday.
We're taking the test on,
Never mind. My calculator.
When?
Tuesday.
we're taking it on Tuesday. So you have to have your calculators for Tuesday charged, ready to go.
My
What?
calculator's fine. I just reset all the memory. It didn't open up because it was all resetting everything.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to read the question or less, and then you're not gonna do the question, you're just gonna simply tell me, I'm pretty sure I know what to do, or I got no clue. Those are your 2 options. And I'm gonna hopefully show you if you think it's no clue, you actually do have a clue. So, all right, 30 seconds, the first one.
Just look at the.
Go ahead.
You're just gonna look at it, and then I'm gonna ask you, do you have a clue or you have no clue?
Go back, go back. Oh, back.
Yep, I got it.
Back.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right.
All right, you don't need 30 seconds for this one. Ben, you got a clue?
Yes.
McKinley,
Hello.
you know what to do?
Yes.
What do you think they
calculator.
consider this one? Easy, medium, or hard?
Easy.
This one's an easy one. Clearly cross multiply. It's not calculator portion. Nobody should screw this up. As you're taking the test, your goal really is to read the question, ask yourself, I can do that, and then do it. The issue is if you flip it back to the start, it says 20 minutes to do 13 questions. If I literally hand this to you right now, I almost guarantee you some of you wouldn't finish this. You're going to get hung up on a question. There's only 20 minutes. There's more time in the actual test, but it's still going to be the same thing. You're going to get started, and most likely you might run out of time, meaning that you're going to have to guess. The goal here is to only try the ones when you look at it, you're like, yeah, I can do that, and then do it. It's probably worth spending 3 minutes on this rather than spending 3 minutes on one that you have no clue on, right? Skip the one that you have no clue on, but you got to read it. That's what you're going to see here in a little bit. There's going to be ones that are this many words, and you're going to finally read it. You're like, okay, that one's easy, right? But if you skip that one based upon, I don't know, the size of the numbers or the size of the text, right? You might be giving away an easy one. By the way, what's the answer?
Oh, the answer is D.
The answer is D.
Are we allowed to mark the paper?
Yeah, it's yours. All right. Number 2, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Clue.
Oh yeah, I got this.
Allie? You think you know what to do? McKinley, you think you know what to do?
No.
Anna? Okay, what do you think we need to do, Anna? Algebra 1 question. Last year you had this. I gave you a test on this. I gave you a table that said write the equation of the table. Do you remember what you did? All right, Ben said he knows what he's doing. So Ben, what are you going to do?
Well, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to try to figure out, well, what's the relationship between X and Y in the first one. So I figured out it's 1 to 5. So that's a ratio of 1 to 5. I go to
No. Here's what you're going to do. Notice, look at all the question answers.
Well,
Notice they are all in what form?
Y equals.
Keep talking.
So now we're going to do.
Y equals what?
MX plus
Y equals X.
MX plus B.
Where M is the,
Middle.
do you remember from last year?
Yes, M is the slope.
And D is the,
Y intersect.
okay, so here's the issue. You guys are in Algebra 1, geometry. My Algebra 1, all my 9th grader Algebra 1 kids got this one right. Because we literally just did this. You guys haven't done it in a year. So let's review this one real quick. This is an easy one. All right, when I give you a table, calculate the slope first. Remember how to calculate slope?
Yes.
How?
It's Pythagorean theorem.
No. How do we calculate slope? You're thinking of a distance formula.
So you have side 1.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Wait,
How do we
you go
calculate
from,
slope?
From the one.
Oh,
that-
the points.
Yeah, points to.
You
Keep
take,
talking.
you take X1, you take the X.1.
Something like that.
You go from Y
Plus.
to count
Is it
and then
the
go up.
rise over?
It's the rise over the run.
Yeah.
But what was the formula? Which on lots of tests they give it, but it's not here. And you guys are not in Algebra 1, so you've completely forgotten it. All of you.
What?
What's the formula?
Yeah, how could you
What do you
forget
mean?
this?
What's the slope formula?
Rise over run. What are you talking
I need a formula.
Rise over, what are you talking about?
I
Put
need
the
a
numbers in.
formula.
Get the numerator over the denominator. What do you want me to do here?
So the slope is 5/7.
Okay, you go up 5, you go over 7.
No,
Yes,
don't say yes. I'm the teacher.
it's true.
It's not. You all 4 of you, 5 of you have forgotten this.
So what? It would be 5/1.
It is absolutely rise over run, but notice I don't have a graph here. I can't use that. If I had a graph in the line, I could count rise over run. But when I give you points, you have to use the formula. The formula was a fraction, and it was rise over run, but it had things inside of it. I'm going to write it. You're all going to say, yes, I remember now.
Well,
Y2.
I know it's, yeah.
Y2, now you start off with
Y2
Y1.
plus Y1.
No.
Y2 minus Y1 is over.
Change in Y's would be the rise.
And then X2 over minus X.
All of you forgot it.
No, I remember.
And that's what equals M. So pick 2 points. Which one do you want?
1 and
You already
5.
told me this.
That's 1 point.
You come up. What do you?
Pick 2 points.
1 and 5 and
Why
2
do
and
you
7.
need that?
There's my 2 points. You can pick any 2. Plug in the numbers.
5 minus 1. And then
No, it says Y values subtracted.
Wow.
7 minus 5.
5.
7 minus 5 over,
2 minus
2
1.
minus 1.
which is,
2 over
Two
1.
over
so their slope is 2. There's where your slope goes. What's the answer?
2x plus 3.
Hey. Now, here's the only issue. The issue is that, well, what happens if one of these, if this was a +3 right there, we would have had to go, I'm sorry, what would happen if this was a 2 right here? We would have to find out the B value. You probably do not remember how you find the B value.
It's there. Oh,
How do I find the B value?
it's the y-intersect, so it's
I mean, how do I find this number?
you can just graph it if you want
Graph what?
to. The line that you just made.
I didn't make any line.
Well, no, you didn't. But you could still graph that as long as you have.
Way quicker, easier method. That you could do that. It would be an estimate. By the way, you have no graph paper here. You have no calculator.
It's true.
The way it's done is you pick 1 point. Pick 1 point.
Have 2.
Pick a point.
X.
Pick a point.
2, 7.
Okay, he wants 2, 7. I would have picked 1, 5. Smaller number, easier, right? You plug it in. It says y is 7. It says x is 2. And what did we just find out the slope was?
2,
Plus b, and solve that. 2 times 2.
4,
Subtract 4 from both sides.
3.
And there it is. Now, are they gonna, because it's gonna be easy to just calculate the slope? It could be, but it might not be. You got to be ready to do the second part. You guys have completely forgotten this. We're probably this is the only example you're going to see. So this is an example of probably when you take this as a junior, it won't be one of the ones you have to review because you probably won't have forgotten it because you'll use it enough. But you guys have within 1 year have already forgotten this stuff. So when you get serious about doing well on this test, these are the type of things that you got to review. So, getting in a good program, there's plenty of free ones online, getting to a good program that goes over these problems. I'm not talking about you wait a week before the test. I'm talking about you spend some time, sophomore year, junior year, you spend multiple months studying for the test. So something as silly as this, by the way, this is less than a minute to do this problem. And you guys would have been spending you probably would have given up on this problem. And this is an easy one. And by the way, they consider this an easy one, and it is. It's a really easy one. But like I said, my Algebra 1 kids all got it right immediately because we literally had just done this one. So that's why they'll be in the same boat as you. This time next year, they won't remember this. All right.
I'm failing because of success.
By the way, remember, you are in 1 year ahead. So there's going to be very, very, very few geometry questions on this test. All right. Number 3, go. Clearly, it's a system of equations.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Blue.
Kind of.
Well, yeah. I'm thinking.
My Algebra 1 kids immediately gave up on this because they said, that's too many words, the numbers are too big.
We don't do any math in this
We
one.
don't do any math in this one.
You literally just have to say, oh, well, this equals this and this equals this.
Remember, and when I gave you the class last year and on the review, I said that all system of equation word problems all follow the same pattern. It's going to be 2 things. 2 of them are going to add to one number, and then some variables times a number are going to add to another number. It's always the same flavor. You got a bus and a car, buses and cars. You got candy and cookies, right? It's something like that. All right, let's set it up. Well, give me an equation from the data you see.
9, I did that, D.
No, give me an equation that you see from the data.
Okay, so
Well, here's the data. I need one equation. Give me one equation. There's 2 of them up there. Just give me one of them.
90.
What 2 things are we dealing with?
No idea what you're asking.
What 2 things are we dealing with here?
Well, prices and what we totally.
Yeah, but what 2 flavors of things do we have up here?
That you have prices and tickets.
It's all the same thing. What two different things are up there though?
But that's the only two things up there.
So you're saying all the tickets are exactly the same?
No.
What two things do we
Oh,
have?
it's more expensive and
Oh,
less
there we go.
expensive.
So we got expensive and cheap. I don't know if those are the right variables, but that's what I'm gonna use. They're using X and Y. We'll make X be,
Cheap.
do they follow? Okay, so X is cheap, Y is expensive. Okay, what's X plus Y?
120,
How do you know that?
because it says it in here.
Because it says X represents how many cheap tickets, Y is how many expensive tickets, and added together, that's, if you're really lucky, guess what?
There's only gonna be one.
There's only gonna be one of those that says X plus Y is equal to 120.
Dang it.
Dang it.
There's
But we can get rid of that one
and C.
and C. So we're down to just A or B,
Oh no.
if you're really lucky. Okay, what's the second equation? It's always the same thing.
90.
90 of the cheap ones,
X plus
or 90 is the cheap one,
plus 250.
plus 250
Y.
Equals
to
27,000.
There's only one that's like that.
A.
Hey,
You're done.
it's been 8 for the.
This is they consider this a medium one. This is an easy one. Like I said, this is one of those ones where you look at it like, oh, this is definitely one of the ones I'm skipping. And it turns out that it's easy. So you have to at least give it the 30-second read. Oh yeah, it's system. And I'm telling you, all systems of equations that will be on this will be like this. There'll be two things. Two things added will be something, and then there'll be something that you attach to the variable with numbers, add up to a second number. It's worth it. We get to the calculator portion, maybe they have you graph this and find where the two intersect, right? But for right now, that was pretty simple. All right, number 4.
Clue.
Yeah. Yes, I got it.
I got it.
Clue.
Can you do that in your head?
Yes.
No, but I have a pretty good guessing.
My algebra kids gave up on it because they're like, the number's too big. I'm like, you just did this. Come on. What two numbers multiply 60 add up to 17 and both are negative?
3 and negative 20. Positive 3 and negative 20.
Yeah, he's right.
yeah, but they can't both be.
No, he said
No,
positive
yeah,
3, negative 20. Therefore, the answer is
D.
all right. They consider that a medium
And
question.
you doubted me.
If they consider that a medium question, I'm telling you, some of you potentially could get like a near perfect score on this. Potentially.
Clue.
It kind of depends.
Um,
This one is, they consider this a medium. I'd say this is an easy question, number 5.
Clue.
Now you guys haven't done algebra in a while. Maybe you have to recall how to do this, but this one's really easy, especially since we did number 1 and now you can remember the formula.
Oh, I got it.
Al, you think you got the answer? Look at all the answers. All the answers are of the form.
Y equals mx.
So what's the slope?
The slope would be
Actually, what's the easiest thing to do instead of the slope? Find the,
Y-intercept.
it's a graph. So what's the y-intercept on the graph?
Plus 3.
So how many of them have a 3 as the y-intercept?
all of them.
Two.
No, not true. Look at
B
it.
and D.
It's either B or D. You see that? Only 2 of them are plus 3. The rest were minus 3. Well,
okay.
look at the line. If you're lucky, one's going to be a positive and one's going to be a negative, and you can just get it just by looking at the line, positive or negative slope. Remember, from if you always go left to right. If you fall down, that's negative. If you go up, it's positive. So that's a negative slope. Negative. Okay, that didn't help. Now we need 2 points. What 2 points you going to pick? It's on your sheet as well. too.
1 and 3.
Yeah, but points.
Oh,
0,
0,
1, and 0. No.
How about
Yeah.
1, 0?
1, 0, and 0, 3.
Okay, so what's the slope of those two?
Negative 3.
Okay, so therefore the answers.
B.
Be careful. Now, this one now, but just don't always assume there's only one answer. Make sure you read the question here. Okay, that's an easy one. They consider that one a medium one. We don't get to another easy one until medium. 14 is the next easy one. All right. All of these are medium one. The first hard one is 13.
14 of 4?
3. 14 The one that we're doing right now, they consider easy. 13, they consider hard. Okay.
There are 14.
Number 6.
There's no 14 yet.
Oh, I'm looking at PSAT 10. Never mind. Sorry.
14's gone.
Sorry. Sorry. All right. Number 6. Easy, medium, hard, what?
Easy.
All right. If you're lucky, you don't have to do the whole thing. Because you can just, what do we actually got to do first?
Well, you gotta distribute it properly.
Okay, so -2 times negative x,
And it's positive.
2x minus 11x.
No, it's got negative.
How many have negative 9x?
C&D.
You need, well, we got to do the whole darn thing. -2 times positive 5y.
Oh, it's,
That was easy. Like I said, some of you should get a near perfect, at least on the math. I can't hold you out for, there's nothing on this that's crazy.
are we gonna have graphics to write out our stuff?
No,
No? Okay.
Mm-mm.
So,
Are we allowed to write onto the sheet?
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's, I probably.
You know, in a normal school, they might reuse the booklets. In this school, since there's only one 9th grade, I don't know. I'll ask Ms. Lovato. Okay.
Blue.
Number 7, my 9th graders gave up on that.
Okay.
Blue.
And they're in geometry, and they gave up on this. I'm sorry, they're in algebra, not geometry. You're in geometry.
Can't get my mind.
They couldn't wrap their head around what they're even asking here.
Yeah.
When that's the problem, look at all of the answers. Look at every single answer. What do you notice they have in common?
They're all different.
No, there's something in common with all of them.
They all have
Organize
these.
it.
Say again? Okay, what else do you notice? I didn't notice that.
A and S are kind
They
of
all
close.
say H equals.
H equals, yeah. You're
Huh?
actually, you're trying to figure out what H is.
All you're doing is taking the
Yeah.
equation and doing what?
Algebra.
You're solving for H. You're doing a little bit of algebra. And they weren't willing to just do some algebras. P equals S plus DGH. So what's the first thing I'm going to do?
Subtract S.
So therefore the answer is
H equals PS over G DG.
what?
B.
It's B.
I just took the real.
That would
I think
be
you said
hard if I
backwards or
couldn't
something.
write it.
That's crazy easy. But you can get lost on, look how many words they put just to say that. The key words there, and you might not have seen this much, but it says which formula represents H in terms. When you see something in terms, it means solve for that thing. Take the equation and solve for that. All right, that's an easy one.
I wonder what else gave that away, H being on the left side every time. And nothing else.
Well, like I said, I'm trying to show you sometimes that you can tease that bits of information. Let's do, that's easy. Or maybe it's not. Let's look at number 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I like number 9.
I see we are skipping number 8.
Yeah.
We'll come back. Well, we're going to have 2 days on this. All right. Number 9. This is one of your classic problem where it says, what is the solution? Well, guess what they're showing you right here? It says, what is the solution? What are they showing you right here?
Solutions.
Solutions. Now be careful. They will always, because we could do quadratics. If they say, what are the solutions? There's going to be multiple answers. If they say, what is the solution? That means one of these is the answer. Okay. Let's say you forgot how to do everything up there. Guess what you can always do?
Plug in.
Just plug the number in, see if it makes it true. So without solving that thing, let's just plug the numbers in. What's the easiest one to plug in?
1.
-4 plus 5.
1.
6 plus 7.
13.
Well, that doesn't give a 0. How about 6? -24 plus 5?
Is negative 19.
Oh, good Lord. 36 plus 7?
No, not that one.
Not that. Oh, our life is horrible now.
B.
This is not a calculator one, so unfortunately, maybe this one is now when you say, well, do you want to go through the hassle of doing that or just solve it? The point being was that a lot of times you can get to the answer just by plugging and chugging. We can solve that. Let's just solve it. What's the minus on the outside do?
Turns
Turns everything. So we get negative 4x plus 5 minus 6x minus 7. Combine. Oops, sorry. Combine.
negative
Negative 10x
minus 2.
equals 0. So we get negative 10x is equal to 2. So therefore we get,
Negative 1/5.
which would be,
Negative 0.2.
thank you.
You told me to leave it fractions. Yeah.
I had to think about that for a second. Yes.
All right, see.
Okay. Now, that's probably one of the ones where I actually,
You could also probably figure that out because if you're thinking if it's negative 12 for 1, it's probably not going to be adding negative. It's not going to be helpful if you add a 1/5. Well, you know, like if you're using
the issue is
negative-
both of these were negative, so you kind of,
I mean, but you can just judge from the way that 1 went. That is probably not going to be negative 1.2.
they give you one that solve and you truly can't solve it, then plug in the numbers. All right. So that one was easy.
Answer.
10. Oh, yeah. All right. So 10 is a good one. 10 is also easy if you know what to do. Notice what it's asking you to do on number 10. It's asking us to do what? Compare what?
The volume.
Okay, so flip back to page 1. What's the volume of a?
4/3 pi r cubed. Oh,
Okay,
man, I
so
hate
4/3 pi r cubed. We got to compare volumes. If the radius of the larger ball is twice the radius of the smaller ball, tried and true math technique. Make the problem as easy as you can.
So just 1 and 2.
Friendly numbers.
Just use 1 and 2.
Choose 1 and 2, and then whatever the relationship of. So double, triple, whatever. So double 1 is
3.
1. No, 2. 1.
It's
I was thinking
3.
squared, okay?
3.
so. I'm gonna throw 1 in. Notice both formulas. Okay, here's small, here's large. But both formulas would have
5.
and a 4/3. So that part doesn't even matter. It's just r cubed because they both would be multiplied by 4/3 pi.
Right.
So it's just what happens when we throw 1 cubed versus 2 cubed. What's 1 cubed?
1.
What's 2 cubed?
8.
What's the difference?
D.
It's 8 times larger, so it's D. This is including the next PSAT test for 10th grade. Same thing. There are so many of them that to find the relationship, just pick a nice, friendly, easy number and see what happens.
3.
We could have used 3.
Yeah.
Use 3 and 6. It would have been different though.
3 cubed would be 27. 6 cubed would be whatever 8 times 27 is. I don't know.
8.
Calculator portion. Yeah, let's do some calculator ones. Unless you want to do some of the other ones. We'll finish these, just not today.
Okay,
Let's go do some calculator ones.
time to get out my calculator.
Like I said, you're going to find out that very rarely pick one that you think looks complicated.
Number 3.
Let's look at number 3. Survey is taken of 1,000 students at a school and are asked whether they played
Oh,
sports.
that's easy.
Table below summarizes 1,000 responses from the student survey.
Oh, you just have to add all those-
1,000 responses.
Yeah, you just have to add all those up together minus,
How many of the male students responded that they do not play sports? Okay, this is a great calculator one. This is a good job, but the other class didn't pick this one.
3. C.
And basically, it's those 4 numbers added together has to equal 1,000.
B.
Which I don't know, which one is it?
3.
If I round 200, that's 400, that's 700, so it's one close to 300.
It's B.
I'd guess B without a calculator.
Yeah, I got
Is it B? Answer is, what number are we on?
3.
yeah, you're right.
Calculator test, answer 3 is B. That is correct.
3.
Yes, I am a math.
All right. Well, that wasn't hard. Allie, pick one you think that looks hard. All All right, number 9. Certain number of cubic yards, we're talking about volume, concrete will be poured to form a driveway. What's the shape of a driveway, basically?
Rectangle.
No,
Prism.
rectangular prism, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're into a driveway. The concrete will fill a
See me on
space
technicality.
that is, well, even it says a right rectangular prism that is 18 feet wide, 18 feet wide, 42, and to make your life easy, you probably shouldn't use 6, you should use
0.5.
0.5. And now everything is in,
Feet.
oh boy, but look at the final answer.
Yards.
You got a couple different options. You could change it all for the yards from the very start or wait to the very end. I'm going to say it's probably easiest to do if we change it from the very start.
But there's a yeah.
Well, that's not a problem. You got a calculator.
No,
There's no problem.
I thought you were gonna say after.
18 divided by 3,
6. But you
so
need, to,
6
you
yards.
need to multiply by 3.
No, divide.
No, let's divide.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
42 would be
8.
8, 14, what?
14.
Okay. That one's a little bit harder. 0.5 divided by 3.
1/6.
0.16.
No, 1 over 6.
0.16.
divided by 6. Because 0.5 also equals 1/3, and 1/3 are times.
Rounded is 0.2.
It's 1 over 6.
How about we just leave everything as a decimal, get a calculator?
Well,
Just
they
divide
don't
by
leave them-
3.
They don't leave them in decimals.
It's 1 over 6,
Okay.
you people.
I just said that.
Yeah, but you kept making it so
But remember, we can just hit the fraction
Thanks.
button and it'll convert it to a fraction really easy.
Wait,
Yeah, or you could just
All right.
memorize it like I did.
0.5 divided by 3. What do we get?
0.17.
0.17?
Wait, 1, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
Oh, it's repeating decimal.
6, 6, 6, 6.
Okay. I'll put 167. Okay. All right. And it even tells us, the conversion factor here. What are the dimensions of this space
It's A.
in yards? Well, we've already done the first one, 6. We probably should have stopped right there because look, only 2 of them say 6 yards. The second one says,
14.
oh, darn it. They both say 14.
But
And the last one says, oh, now I understand why you give me that. I didn't read the answers yet. I was like, why are they saying 1/6? All right. We got to
Yeah,
convert that
I know.
into a
fraction.
fraction. So just get 0.1666666 math
I
fraction.
haven't already done that.
Right.
No, Jack, I don't think you've already done that.
Why do you not look at the answers after you're done reading it? You
I do.
always-
No, I do.
Then why?
Because he's a teacher.
So
He doesn't
1/6,
have to
right?
use one.
Okay, cool.
Must be
Did
nice.
we need a calculator for that one?
No.
No.
It's
And by the
nice.
way, now I see why you were yelling at me, is that we should have stopped, because it certainly wasn't a half. We could have made even a guess at that point. That was 1/6. All right, so that one actually wasn't that hard. Like I said, there's so many times when you look at these questions and you think it's going to be a challenging problem and it actually ends up being easy. All right, McKinley, pick one.
Number 10. It's a little strange. Oh, okay.
Just a lot of information.
Okay, you've never seen this before. This is called a step function. A step function is, you see the graph?
Yeah.
It looks like steps.
Ooh.
And the reason why there's an open circle and this closed circle, open circle means there's no value there. Closed circle means it goes to that value. We did this one, I already know the answer from the previous class. You read this and it says, which graph shows the relationship? Basically, which graph represents the table? So what's the easiest technique to use?
Plug them into the graph.
So which one do you want, which row do you want to plug in first?
I'll try number 1.
Look at number 1. It says $1 is up to 30 minutes. So which graph shows $1 for up to 30 minutes? A shows $1 for up to 30 minutes. B shows $1 for up to 30 minutes. They all do.
Dang it, genius.
Okay. Jack, pick a row. You can also kind of not cheat, but look at all of the graphs and see where the difference is.
Now the end of mock CMS test.
What the heck is a mock famous test?
All right,
The must
they are,
see math.
not us.
Yes, 4. No, actually 9.
9?
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay, let's see. It says $9 better be 120 to 180. So on A, do you have $9? Do you have a line that goes from 120 to 180? No. So it can't be A. B, do you have a line that goes from 120 to 180?
No.
So it's not B. Do you see that? Look at C. Now remember, it's got to be $9. Does it go to 120 to 180? Oh yeah, it could be C. How about D?
No.
All right, well you figured it out
Oh, you're
just
welcome.
by picking one row. If you had picked 9 or 14, I believe work as well too. If you had picked those rows to start with, you could have been done in one. This is another example of, boy, does that look challenging. There's no calculator here. It's pretty darn simple.
Yeah, there's no way to use your calculator.
There is. You can do a step function on your calculator.
I know.
All right. Last one, Anna, pick one.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, wonder graph.
Let's look at number 12.
Oh. That's why it's
12.
5,000. Oh, God.
All right. Now above it, it says questions 12 through 14 refer to the following information. Rocco, I don't know, is saving money to buy his first car. He works 15 hours each week and saves $10 for each hour he works. He saves $10 for each hour he works, and he works 15 a week. So therefore, he saves how much a week? 150 a week. Rocco has already saved $3,500. So how many weeks did he work?
2 and a third.
He saves, you said $150 a week.
He has done.
3
You have a calculator?
He does it in 3 weeks.
No.
Yeah.
He's saved $3,500. So how many weeks does he already work? I don't know if that's part of the problem, but
23.3.
all right, so he worked a while. All right.
What? Oh.
He knows that there will be an 8.5% sales tax on the purchase of his car and title transfer fee of $15. He will use the formula below to determine his gas mileage per gallon. Y for dollars is equal to miles per gallon. The car can be driven in G gallons of gas. So basically, he's figured out how much it would cost him for gas. All right, question 12. Rocco will need to pay a total of that much for the car, including sales tax and transfer fee. To the nearest dollar, what was the purchase price? Calculator problem. Not because you need a calculator to understand it, but you ugly numbers, you want a calculator to do this. So do we need this miles per gallon crap?
No.
Absolutely not. The formula, do you remember? We haven't done this since pre-algebra. You remember sales tax?
Nope.
How do you calculate sales tax?
Get out.
Let's say that there's a 2% sales tax. What do you do with that 2%?
You turn it into a fraction. 0.2.
You actually do something else. You take the price or the cost of whatever you're buying.
And multiply times 0.2.
No. You multiply it by 1.2 because you want the total. That will tell you how much tax, but if we want the total thing, we need 1.2. 1 would be the whole thing plus the tax. So anytime you're doing sales tax, it's always 1
No, no.
point whatever the tax. Oh, I'm sorry, 1.02. That would be 20%. That's a lot of tax.
Yeah, but you need 0.2. But you need,
But we need the original price.
you need to figure out the
Hold on.
tax for those. and
Hold
then-
on.
And then you can figure out.
The question
tax.
doesn't say that. It says, what is the purchase price? So the purchase price, or let's just say the total cost would be equal to the purchase price, PP, times, what was the tax from above? Doesn't it say sales tax? Percent?
8.5.
So that would be times 1.085 plus, what was the fees? Did it say?
$15.
Plus $15. Do you see what I'm getting? That would be the total thing. So this would include the purchase price times the tax, and then add $15.
No, because you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out what the tax is
We are trying to find out what is the purchase price.
of the car without the tax.
We got that. It's right here.
No, that's with the tax.
Rocco will need to pay a total. That's the T.
Right. That's the total.
Agreed.
5,246.87.
Agreed?
So you don't need to use that formula.
Yes, we do. We gotta calculate purchase price.
Oh, yeah, Jack, and what's your formula?
All right.
Just multiply times 0.85, and then subtract that from the total, and then subtract 15.
Well, let's see what I'm doing. I'm taking T, which is that number right there, 5,246.87.
Oh, God.
That equals purchase price times 1.085 plus 15. Step number 1, subtract 15 from both sides. Subtract 15 from that number.
5,231.87.
Genius.
No, I'm not
What did you
using a
get?
calculator.
I thought-
5,231.87.
It's not one of the answers. Oh, you're subtracting. I got you. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so what'd you get? 5,200
31.87.
Genius, man.
is equal to the purchase price times 1.085. I didn't write that down. Okay, so how do you get rid of that? That's a 5.
Divide, but that's,
So do that.
so it's the same thing. We're doing the
So-
same thing.
So do that. Calculators.
Rebecca leave his laptop again?
Yes, right there. So 5,231.87 divided by 1.085. What'd you get?
Or a 22.
Okay, so it's got to be V.
I did it before all of you were.
Oh, they had a question. Will they be allowed to write in the test booklet?
For
Ninth
this
grade.
is this ninth grade? No,
Would have scratch paper?
no. You have the answer sheet and that's it. No scratch paper.
Don't have to have scratch paper. How are we going to do the calculations?
I think I looked at.
Then-
I will reread my directions. I'll reread it, but I don't think that they
Well,
did.
this would be impossible to do without scratch paper. You
Oh,
couldn't do
some
it.
of this.
Yeah, you couldn't do this without scratch paper.
Oh, okay.
Or being able to write the book, one of the two.
I'll look at it again.
Okay.
I'll see what it says.
All right, we out of time? We're out of time. All right, so we're gonna go over the rest of the practice tests tomorrow, and then we'll do practice test number 2. I don't know if we'll finish this one tomorrow, but we'll try, and then we'll do that on Monday. All right, are you feeling any better about the test?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Yes.
okay, so let's take a big picture. If you tank this one, guess what it means?
Nothing.
Nothing. But what it does do is it basically tells you, hey, you better start practicing. But I'm saying, as I walk you through the questions, where are you getting them?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. The more of these you do, the easier that they get.
So I just download a bunch of them off.
Right, and that's what a lot of kids do in high school, is that it's not like a joke. It's not like they wait a week before this. They spend half a year every weekend doing practice SAT problems so that they don't screw up the test.
When are you gonna clear effectively?
It's probably not even gonna be physically me. It's probably gonna be the test proctor that does it. But it could be me because they'll probably be scared of touching the calculator.
They're only clear RAM.
The fool! I program an entire PSAT into my calculator.
But trust me, they're gonna clear everything. The archive and everything.
The thing I had
You
nothing
said
for.
was just RAM.
Well, I thought the shift plus 712 does clear the RAM, but
That's just RAM.
clear the archive.
Shift plus 7 over 1, 2 would be all.
Okay.
Please continue. Please continue. Please continue. Please continue.
Eat that. Dad's gonna yell at me.
He's not gonna yell at you. Why would he yell at you?
He bought this for me like for $80.
Agreed, but did you lose it? Well, then why would he yell at you? He's not gonna yell at
He's in
you.
the mood today.
All right, leave that there. It's not yours.
If it is, I got it.
Leave this right here. I said I would give it to him. That way I know.